Hi, it's Anthony Meisner from Land Title. Came to bring you first to know update for Boulder County. This is an interesting one because the average sales price doesn't look great. The median sales price in single family homes doesn't look great either. We're seeing a little bit of slippage here, even over last year, and that rising inventory is creating an environment that's a little tough for sellers. If you look at the condo townhouse market, I've been talking about this for months. This market looks even more extreme than the detached single family home market. This one, I suspect, is less stable and more volatile. So, as we keep chasing price down a little bit with so much more inventory in the attached market, you want to keep an eye on this. Median's down 8.5% this month, which may be a little extreme because the average is only down 3.5, but we'll keep our eye on it. The way you can kind of get a second check on a lot of these is our price per square foot. Detached 5% down, probably looks pretty much what we would expect, but the attached single family numbers came out, and a bit of a surprise to me that we've seen declining price per square foot numbers all the way since February. So this is a tough pill to swallow right now, but a very expensive Boulder County with a lot of wealth is still seeing some depreciation in a year with an extreme amount of inventory, especially in the city of Boulder. Now, let's look at supply, because this is really what is causing the situation. Is we have so many more sellers than buyers right now, and at 710 new listings coming on the market, it's about 11.5% more than this time last year. Finally, a number that is lower than a 2022 number, though, where we were trending extremely high because of all of the appetite of sellers in that very, very expensive market, right? Now, if you look at the active listings as a total, though, these active listings we haven't seen in a very long time, since 2011, somewhere around there. This is a 1,633 listing number, where that's 27 or 26% more than this time last year. Supply is soaring, right? The craziest part is if you compare this to some of the other markets, we saw a lot of our supply rise last year, where if you look at Denver Metro, it can be way more extreme. So keep in mind, it could be a lot worse. If you're a buyer, though, buyer demand is still out, right? And because of those declining prices, and because buyers have sat on the sidelines for so long, expect buyers to still be active. Now, are they at their peak? No, we're past the peak. You can very clearly see that in the June data. We're at 417 sellers, down from 466 last month, but we're still trending in the direction that, we're above where we were a year ago, and we're above where we were 2 years ago. So 14% more, that's a great sign. And they have 4 months, 4.5 months of inventory to look at. So that inventory with its rise has really brought buyers out the sideline because there's so much more to choose from. Keep that in mind, that if that couples with declining interest rates at all, like today, the interest rates are a little bit better than they have been, that could actually bring more buyers off the sideline as well. But 417 sellers is no 710, or 417 buyers is no 710 sellers. So we have a very big delta there, and that is creating that inventory rise. So hang on for the third and the fourth quarter, because there could be a lot of seller appetite with not as much buyer appetite, even though buyers are hanging in there and doing pretty well. Market activity, this really shows us, what does it feel like to be a buyer or seller? You have 35 days in MLS. This is usually the fastest month of the year, so it should start to rise from here. So if you didn't get under contract in those first, average days, those basically 5 weeks, then we've got to start looking at other options there. But you can really see this is 17% higher than it was a year ago, because there's so much more inventory to choose from, right? And the other thing that is actually slightly concerning in Boulder County, this is what's creating all your price drops, is the close to list price is 98.2%, and it's been steadily declining. And this figure doesn't include price drops, and it does not include concessions, both of which we've been experiencing a ton of, right? I mean, I think if last time I looked at concessions figures, we're talking over 60%. So most of our deals under $1 million. So this is a one that we really need to kind of pay attention to. It tells a lot of the story, but it's very lagging data. So forward-thinking data, when we look at that, we look at showings. And showing traffic is still doing pretty well, right? The average showings to go under contracts about 13. It's really what we expect this time of year, somewhere in there. So it's not taking a ton more showings to go under contract than it ever did before. The issue is that those buyers are only looking at the homes that they want to see, because they have so much more to choose from. And we have 4.2 showings per listing, which is another 12% drop largely due to the amount of inventory that they can go see, right? So when they can be a little more choosy, they may not look at every house if they don't show well online. And 4.2 showings per listing takes a long time to get to 13. So if you kind of watch this, this really tells you whether or not you're priced correctly, or if you're a little bit more of a number that is not adequate. Obviously, the buyer population, whether or not we as sellers think we know what the value of a house is, it's really only what a buyer's willing to pay for it. And you see that come through in showing traffic, and then you really see it come through if you're getting the showing traffic, but you're not going under contract. So hopefully this all helps. If you need any other data or information, please reach out to me. This is Anthony at Land Title. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'll catch you next time.